Okay, we have Renee Gillette on with us. She is a realtor in Texas and she has a ton of experience. So I'm very interested, not huge following. Obviously, I'm like, oh, what's she doing to get all this following? So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to talk, is very interested in how you're growing organically because it seems like it's moving.
Yes, yes.
To start us off, before we get into my question that I'm curious about that I usually ask at the beginning is, if you were to look at the last 6 to 12 months of your life and then turn that into a Netflix special, what would that show be about? And then why would it be called what you would call it?
Man, it would definitely be chaotic, hectic. So I am a mother. I have two children, so they're very active in school. One's in middle school, one's in elementary. So we're very busy with, volleyball, softball, cheerleading, flag football, the whole gamut. And then also on top of that, we love to travel. So I recently went to New Zealand. We go to the Caribbean a lot. We kind of need a vacation from my vacation. So I've been seeing this thing here lately. It's like we're a traveler, we're not a vacationer. So like it's extra exhausting when we get back. But we love to go camping. We spend that pretty much all our time outside. So we're in the water all the time. So here in the summertime, I mean, we're very busy. And then in my spare time, I'm also a real estate broker. So I have my own brokerage and I have a few agents underneath me, as well as we do development. So I have new home constructions that we build and sell, remodels that we do. I do a lot of investors trying to do their own developments too. And then on top of all of that, I'm also a registered nurse. So I have a license that I still keep active here and there, and just to, because I've been doing it, let's see, probably at least 15 years now. So I have a bachelor's in nursing. So I try to keep that license active. So it's very busy, and we definitely are very. My friends are family, and all their kids are my kids. It's very busy. So people always ask, like, how do you have time? And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just get up, just get up and do it. If it's not in my calendar, forget about it. It's not happening. So as far as the name, I have no idea. Just run around Renee, I guess.
Ah,
Tried a
okay. Run
lot.
around.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exciting. So I can see where the chaos, the controlled chaos is happening. There's a lot of different things. And is that how your social has grown? Because it's different things that you do, and then people just find you and then follow you and share? Because it's pretty
Yes. And
significant.
yeah, we
Yeah.
we also have here at my house, we have a high fence, so we have exotic animals, so zebras and kangaroos and different various types of deer and stuff. So we breed them and sell them. So kind of like ranching, but with
What
deer and fun
the?
things.
No way.
So a lot of my stuff, like I get engagement from because people are like, "There's no way you have a zebra." I'm like, "Actually, I have two of them, and here they go. Or here's my kangaroo." And it's interesting to see the stuff that people are most interactive with. Like I shared a video the other day. We were gone from New Zealand, come back, and we have a pool, and I was cleaning out the skimmers, and it was full of what we call June bugs here. So these little beetles. They're pretty much useless. I don't know what the use is. I don't think anybody really knows what their use is. But I mean, just hundreds of them. So I'm picking up the skimmer, and I'm like, ugh, gross. It's gotten over like 13 million views, and people are just losing their
Wow.
minds over me throwing these bugs in the grass. And I'm like, this is so silly. Like the internet is just crazy to me. So it's a good balance between just silly videos like that and actual like productive stuff. Like, if I was going to go in and buy this house, like here's what I would change about it, and just different things like that. I try not to stick to like the boring, kind of typical lingo for realtor stuff. I do a lot of personal videos versus my real estate stuff, but I do try to tie it all in together.
Yeah, yeah. So for other invest or agents, you'd recommend to diversify and not do the standard, right? Basically go against mainstream and what everybody's doing, yeah?
Yes, yes. And I mean, occasionally, yeah, you do the little trendy stuff just to get into the wonderful algorithm. But what I have found that has worked the best is just randomness. I mean, there's really no rhyme or reason to it. It's like I'll have like if I'm doing something like, oh, this would be a good little just B-roll, and then I'll do that and then put some facts about the town that I'm in. And like sometimes people just go crazy on it, and sometimes, it only gets a few views. So it's just kind of like I said, it's very random. But I have noticed that when you interact with all the comments, good or bad, it does help put you back into that algorithm and get you more followers. And I mean, that one video, I have to go back and look, but it's like 13 million views. And I mean, it's several hundred followers based off that one video. And I do get clients that way too. Like, hey, I noticed, you work in this area. Do you have anything? So it's a very, I like leads like that because they're more organic. They're interested in what I'm doing versus me having to reel them in.
Right, right, right. That's interesting. Now, is that randomness approach something that you teach your agents in your brokerage?
Yes.
Is that like just kind
Yes.
of be loose and
Yes. And so like you can definitely tell when people are being genuine and they're putting themselves out there or if they're reading a script. And you can tell, I mean, you can scroll through Instagram all day long and see, oh, this person's really funny and they're just really good at it. And it's just because they're coming across as a natural human being. They're not forcing it. And that's what I tell my agents. Because even for me, like I'm 40 years old, so I'm kind of just past that age of where Snapchat and all that fun stuff. So my 13-year-old daughter takes 9,000 pictures of herself a day. But for me, it was not a very natural thing to do is to videotape myself. So
yeah.
it's a learning curve, but I think once you get past that and always just be yourself, like even when you're talking to clients, like they're going to know if you're faking it. They're going to know if you're making up stuff. They're going to know if you really don't know what you're talking about. So I've always had that motto in life is like just be true and I guess that's part of my nursing background. And he's like for me, like if I don't know the answer to something, I'm like let me find out. I'll find out for you. I don't know it. No person can ever know everything. And I'm a real big learner by doer. So I think just putting yourself out there and just getting more comfortable with it. So even with me with podcasts, so this is new to me. It's not a comfortable thing, but it's getting easier. I like talking to people and it's essentially the same thing. We're just having a conversation. It's just recording. So talking to my agents about that and getting them on board with being comfortable with it is a struggle, but once they start doing it, they'll figure it out. And they're like, when they start getting that feedback and people actually start responding to it, is when they're like, oh, okay, this really does work. I'm like, yeah, like that's why millions of people do it.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah, yeah, makes
free.
sense.
It's free. I mean, that's the best type of advertisement. I mean, Instagram and Facebook, it's unless you boost your posts, it's all free. I mean, what
Yeah,
better way to get yourself out there in front of millions of people for no money? I mean, just your time.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So it sounds like post anything but boring. Because if you post boring, then it's yeah.
And occasionally, I mean, you gotta, sometimes I'll post boring stuff just to have something to post, and that's not always the best game plan. I mean, you need to be more thoughtful about it, but sometimes, I mean, life happens, and you're like, okay, I really, like, I try to do 5 days a week at least. It really does
Hmm.
help your algorithm and keep you on top of like the scrollingness of the followers. Because if you do slack off, you do drop down and you have to build it back up again. So I always say,
Okay.
like, the boring stuff and Facebook and Instagram are different too. So a lot of people will post this stuff and both of them identical and they just don't work the same. So you have to be mindful of what format you're putting it in.
Do you upload natively? Like you record a video and then go to Instagram and upload, or do you have a third party tool like a Metricool or
Sometimes they
something? Or you just
use, yeah, CapCut sometimes. And sometimes on Instagram I'll just do the caption. Or if I'm talking, it'll, say the words. But most it's just organically done. If I have a long video, I'll kind of cut off pieces of it to make it a little bit shorter so it'll fit in the reel. But other than that, it's not like super over editing. It's not like,
yeah,
Photoshopped 2.0 and all these crazy things which, I mean, I'm really impressed that people can do this stuff. I just don't have the time for it, or I mean, I don't know how to do all most of that stuff. But CapCut is super easy just to go through and, to make an edit to a video to make it shorter and then cut out the spaces in between so it just flows better. Or if I'm doing like a green screen, I'll use Instagram for the green screen to go over like a tour through a house or something like that. So I don't use anything super high tech, or I don't have, a film crew or anybody like that.
Wow. Because I know sometimes when people see a huge following, they're like, you put a lot of money into it, or you're high production, and you're
No.
like, man, I just boast.
Yeah. Just iPhone, a cheap Amazon speaker, and a tripod most of the time. And
Wow.
sometimes I'll
Wow.
just prop it up on something and do my thing. And it's for me, like even like when we go on vacation and stuff, to me, I'm a live in the moment person. Like I don't typically want to take a whole bunch of pictures of everything and all this stuff. So I'll normally spend 10 minutes and just do a whole bunch of B-roll of stuff and then save it for later. So even if like if you go into a closing, you're like, oh, I look cute today, like snap a 10-second video of you and you can use it as a B-roll and something else. So it doesn't have to be like in that moment type of stuff. But I just have an album on my iPhone that, if it's just here and there snippets of whatever, I'll put it in there and I'm like, oh, this will go good with this little short, to-do list of how to prep a house or something like that. And then that way, because Instagram videos tend to do better versus carousel single photos. So just having a B-roll of anything really, just to get that real type video footage on it is the most useful. Whereas Facebook, if you have just a bunch of pictures, Facebook is better with single pictures. You can use both of them in each instance, and then like LinkedIn, that's where I put all my quote unquote boring stuff. So all your, market reports and all that stuff will go over there because that's more of a professional world, whereas Instagram is more laid back and chill and, just trying to grab the person's attention at first and then kind of dabble in the good information after that.
Are you on TikTok?
No, I'm not on TikTok. It's kind of, I need to be. There's a lot of people that have a lot of success with TikTok. It's just a realm that I just haven't ventured into. Like I said, if I can get my 13-year-old to hook me up, it'd probably be really great.
So what was the first thing you did? Was it real estate, nursing, or farming? Yeah.
So
Where
the
did
first thing, nursing was my first career, and I really loved it. It's just when I started having a family, it made it very difficult hour wise, and I did do a lot of traveling for it in the positions that I were in, kind of more of a management position toward the later part of my career in that. And so for me, I've always done some sort of real estate, built houses or remodels and stuff like that. So essentially, when I got my real estate license, it was just for me to use for my own projects. And it just kind of blossomed into now I have my broker's license, I have a full brokerage. People always say, go work for yourself. You won't work as hard. But really, now I work 3 times as much, but it's something that I'm able to work around. So if my kids have a school program, I can go to that. I don't have to ask permission from somebody to go do that. To me, that is the greatest thing in life is to have the freedom with your time. So I enjoy that part of it. I still get to help people. I still get to talk to people and always tell people like, not only are you in real estate, you're also a therapist. Because buying and selling is very stressful. I mean, these are the greatest purchases that most people will make in their entire life. So I still get to have those conversations with people and help people through stressful situations and things, as well as celebrating, big wins at the end of it. So to me, nursing and real estate kind of do go hand in hand. It's just in nursing, you work at a facility and you're there, 12 hours a day or whatever. I mean, you can't just leave was my biggest drawback from that.
Yeah. I'm so fascinated by the zebras and what's the story behind that? OMG, man.
I
Wow.
told you we're chaotic.
We're running a
So
zoo.
we do. Yes, I have a zoo. I always I always tease. I'm like, man, if all else fails, I just have a drive-through safari in my backyard, like,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
bring a kangaroo to school and take pictures with it. I don't know, but yeah, no, we've gotten
Man.
into always been an outdoors person. So, like, say, fishing, hunting, like the whole gamut. So for us getting into that, so we live in a rural area. A lot of people do cattle. We've met a lot of people traveling throughout the years. I mean, Africa, New Zealand, South Texas, all over the place. A lot of these, call it hunting ranches. So they would buy deer and livestock to put on for their hunting ranches. So people like us breed them and then sell them off. So it's just like cattle. So we kind of just both feet in and ended up with, I don't even know how many we have now. It's just kind of, I always tell people, like, man, I got out of control really fast. So we're like,
Yeah.
well, we just keep adding to our collection of animals. So we have Noah's Ark around here. We have at least two of everything. So zebras, we got the two kangaroos, we have a couple different types of deer and stuff. So it's fun. I enjoy it. People drive by all the time and they'll like stop and they'll back up and they're like, did I just see
Yeah.
that? Like, yeah, yeah, that's us.
Do you name the animals?
Most of so the deer I don't really name, but the zebras and the kangaroos and all of them we do. And a 7-year old he names them, so they're mostly named after cookies and waffles and candy and different types of food. So it's pretty funny. We have like little mini cows and they're called Honey Bun is one of the little. And then we got Stripes and Dottie, and oh, we have a pig, Snorty the pig. So I
Okay.
mean, it's
Yeah. Yeah.
interesting the names. We definitely don't have the classic like racehorse, you know,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
five
That's
names to them
funny.
type. No, like yeah, that's Lollipop or they just have very unique names to them.
Any giraffes?
That's been a discussion, but I'm like, no, we're not there. Like, not there. I was like, we've talk to people about it, but I'm like, we just don't have the time. I mean, that's a whole nother. I was like, telling my husband, I was like, this is what we would have to do for a living is these animals if we got into that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
Yeah.
could imagine driving down the road and seeing a giraffe walk through the pasture. It would be interesting
Wow.
for sure.
Yeah. Now, would you say that this, I mean, it's clear that's a unique story, but do you think that is what also appeals to your clients that makes them choose you a little more than another real estate agent?
Yeah, yeah, and I think most of my people, because we do the construction and I've done my own houses and I've done remodels and I have developed and I do all this stuff. A lot of agents think they can just get a license, open a door, and like, oh, here's a house. Whereas me, I will go through the house with them and like, hey, this cabinet is custom and it costs XYZ. Or, hey, that light fixture is a cheap one from, big box store. Or so I know all of this stuff. So a lot of the times my clients will come to me because of that, because they want me to be able to back them on this investment that they're about to make. Whereas a lot of agents don't understand. They're just like, oh, that's a pretty house, but they don't really see the workmanship of the house. I have met several of my clients through you know the animal world part of
Yeah.
it. So I do like a lot of farm and ranch and land sales as well. So a lot of my clients will come from that. But even in that realm, because I'm knowledgeable, like, oh hey, this is all rock here. It's going to cost XYZ
Yeah.
to put fencing up, or hey, there's a spring fed tank over here, a pond. It'll never go empty because it's a natural spring, and things like that. That if you're not familiar or know those types of situations, like you're just not gonna know. And so a lot of people, I tend to like vet the properties before we even go look at them, because I know exactly what it is that they're looking for, and it does help because a lot of these people, I mean, they're busy. So especially my investors, they're busy people, and so I'll tend to go out on my own and look at them like, hey, I think this is really going to work what you're looking for, or not, and vice versa. I like to did what I call like white glove service my clients.
Hmm.
Like I tell them, like I'm not just here filling out paperwork and opening a door. Like I'm really doing the research and everything behind it to make sure that what you're investing is what you're wanting to invest in.
Yeah. 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 So it sounds like your success formula has a lot to do with expertise. And what adds to a further affirmation of people choosing you is you have really dynamic interests that also display your expertise. Because the development side, you're an expert in that. So they have the comfort of you, real estate agent, plus the development. But then you have an expertise in the animal stuff. So they know, like, oh, she's actually really smart. She knows the details there. Oh, she has to be, just the same, the brain power in the as a real estate as selling residential. So it sounds like your success formula has a lot to do with expertise. That's pretty cool.
Yes, yes. And
Yeah.
like I said, I'm a I learn by doing. And so if it's an interesting transaction, I always tell my client, they're like, I mean, most of the time they're like, I'm so sorry, this is happening. And I'm like, no, no, I love it. It's giving me a chance to learn something new that I didn't even know existed. And so I was like, no, if there's not something wrong with a transaction, then we're doing something wrong. Like if we're not digging enough to find these errors, like then there's something not right to begin with. So I always tell people like I enjoy that. I'm a very dive on in type
Mm.
person. I don't sit there and dwell on making decisions. I just can quickly scan something like, hey, this is the direction I want to go, and I just go for it. If it fails, then all right, then we'll edit and we'll go this direction. And my favorite saying to clients is, I was like, well, we'll try. All they can do is tell us no. I mean, it's not like they can eat us. I mean, they're just gonna tell us no, and then we'll try again. Like,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm very, I guess, a realist when it comes to that type of stuff and trying to get other agents, I'm gonna say like confidence, but not to be scared to just go ahead and put themselves out there. I mean, that's half the battle. I always
Hmm.
tell my agents too, like, especially when they're starting out, don't say no to
Hmm.
anything. Don't be scared of something. Just go ahead and say yes and just learn while you're doing. And if I'm here to help you. If you have questions, you're not alone. And we'll just make sure, we're dotting all our I's and crossing all our T's and you're learning along the way. That's the only way anybody grows is how you get better at stuff. And to me, I meet so many people and so many resources during those transactions that later on in life, I'm like, oh, hey, I know a great person for this. And, here's a number. Let's call them up and see what they would say. Whereas, I mean, you can only do so many open houses, but you're never going to meet,
Yeah.
and talk to, all these engineers and surveyors and, title company, right? I mean, all that stuff that are very useful when it comes to working through these transactions. So the more people you meet, the more people in your bank to help you that are experts in their own fields, it's probably the greatest tool that an agent can have.
Hmm. That's cool. That's cool. Do you feel like you have a handle on the content that you put out to where, oh, if I do this, these are the types of people that are going to hit me up? Or like, if I do this, there's going to be results? Or is it truly like, I don't really worry about the outcome in terms of inflow. I'm just going to post. I'm just going to post.
Sometimes. So I know on my random videos, of course, I get the random comments. The internet's interesting, but I always try to interact with differences of opinions in a professional way or trying to be funny about it. To me, responding to those will get more response back. And so, of course, it bumps you up in the algorithm. So I always say no PR is bad PR.
Yeah.
I just try to be mindful of it because we all know like the internet's internet and people are people.
Mm.
But if I do like if I have a property that's a great investment property or a great rental or something like that, I do try to post towards those type of people or point out things that would be of interest for a client like that. Or if it's a
Mm.
great, first time home buyer house or something like that, I do aim it a little bit more towards that. Or,
Mm.
it's property on the lake, so fishing, tag more fishing stuff to make it kind of pop up over there. So I do try to, let's say, like ballpark audiences based on whatever content it is, but just the randomness, like I say, that does most of the time better than actual planned out videos. I just kind of brace myself for comments and kind of go from there.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's awesome.
and on, like I had the pool one, like I had so many people ask me, what is that? Like, what are you using? And like, and so in the back of my mind, I was like, oh man, I need to set up one of those Amazon links, and but it's interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting because there's content creators that's what they do. I mean, they just try on clothes and like, here's the links to these t-shirts and it works for them. So it's interesting to see, like I had several pool companies share that video to
Mm.
promote their pool cleaning services and things like that. So it's you might in that video I took just on a spur of a moment, just like, oh, we've been gone. Oh, this is gross. Oh my gosh. And who would have thought that it would have got so much traction over something that I like actually put time and effort into? That's kind of the annoying part, but it does help. Like I said, those followers, and I've had people that I even meet out in public that never comment or like or anything like that, but then like I'll post a video of our dog. I have an
Watch me.
English Mastiff, and they'll see me out in public. Oh, that video was so funny, blah blah blah. Like, how big is he? And it's interesting
Yeah.
because even though they're not interacting, they are watching. And to me, that's
Yes.
your potential clients. So be mindful of what you put out there. Be yourself, definitely. I don't ever post political stuff or anything like that, just because I enjoy working with everybody and I don't want to lose a client because of different views on, political senators or whatever it may be. So I'm always professional in that part. I don't post religion, political, really anything like that. I do post, my kids. I try not to post other people's kids. If they're in the video, I'll ask them, hey, do you
Hmm.
mind if I share this online? Because some people don't want their kids' faces online. Mine don't get a choice. I post
Right.
them anyway. Except my 13-year-old, she's like, Mom, don't. I'm like, okay. So it's
Yeah.
you have to be mindful of that stuff. I do see other agents, which they're entertaining, but sometimes I'm like, oh man, I can't believe they put that on there. So that's just my personal thing. I'd rather have interaction off, a random video versus a whole debate over, our
Right.
constitution or whatever it may be. So that's just my platform. I know other people that do, I mean, they're very successful in creating that type of content, which is fine for them. But just for me, I just tend to stay in this part of the highway versus adding all that other.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah. All good. It's encouraging to see and to actually talk to somebody that just posts and is living your authentic best life without all the strategy, and it's working because as it sounds, it's not that difficult. You just need to be willing and consistent,
Yes.
just to put stuff out there and stay consistent, because it sounds like if you stop posting, you're gonna have to regain. It's almost like a reset, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you
Yep.
got to keep.
Yeah. And I see lots of agents do that. Like they start off really strong and they have all these cool little videos. They do it and they do it for like 2 weeks and then they just stop. And I'm like, what? Well, you just wasted all your time. Like you just did all of this. Now
Mm.
it's not going to go anywhere. Like you have to, it takes a long time to build that up. And like I said, like so I'm not a huge fan of like just posting a bunch of randomness, but if I don't have anything else, then I'll just throw some B-roll out there with, tips on, lawn care or whatever. Um, and just to keep yourself relevant. It's the same thing with like email. I can tell them it's kind of like an email campaign. Like you're always top of mind is what you want to be, but you don't want to be so annoying that they're going to unsubscribe from you. Like if you're posting 50 times a day, then like that would be annoying. Like I would unsubscribe for you. Like I don't want to watch that. But if you, once a day or every other day, at least 3 to 4 times a week is kind of like the golden thing. And then I know they say like post stories, but not the same content that you do, but you can use the same video, just use it in different ways. And you can use it for all
Mm.
platforms. You just got to be
Mm.
mindful of like where you're posting it. And so
Mhm.
I even like rework the same videos from 6 months ago and then put something else on them. So it doesn't have to
Mm.
be like that's taking up all your time. Like I literally will just have my phone 10 minutes a week worth of just whatever I'm doing and then save it in a file. And then I tend to schedule mine ahead of time. So it's not every day that I'm on there doing it. You know, Instagram, Facebook, they all have calendars where you can go in and pre-schedule your content, you know, spend an hour or two doing that, get it over with, and then you're good for the next 2 weeks. So I just put mine, it's kind of, I call it like autopilot, where I don't have to think about it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think this has been a great masterclass on how marketing can work when you're authentic and consistent. And guess what? It's free.
Yes, that's the best thing. It's free. You know, you can always boost posts. So if I have a great listing and I want to boost it out there, and even then I target it for the specific area or, you know, annual income, age, things like that. You can do all that on Facebook. And I do get a lot of feedback on that, but I don't boost just random posts. Like the only time I boost a post is for a specific property in a specific area. So whereas the same thing as agents send out mailers, a boost on Facebook is essentially the same thing. And the odds of them just throwing it in a trash can like a mailer would be or less because it's a video, it's going to catch your eye. Most people at least stop and look at it for a few seconds versus just glancing and then throwing it away. So to
Yeah,
me, social media is the way to go. I mean, just look at our world today. Every company out there uses social media to advertise. Everybody, they all do it. So the mailers, the flyers, the knocking door to doors, cold calling, all of that, what I call old school marketing, has its place, but we live in a instant gratification world now. So to me, social media is where it is.
yeah, yeah, yeah. The agents that are working under you are so lucky. They get to follow the model and, yeah, work it out themselves. Man, that's a recipe for success. Yeah,
Yes.
from what I hear.
Yes.
This is good. Any last words for people that like this is really interesting? I think I would encourage agents who want to do well on social media and then encourage like just buyers in general. Well, what are your last words for those two pockets of people?
For agents, like I say, just put yourself out there. Don't be scared. I mean, I used to be like, man, my hair is a wreck. Like, I'm not all dressed up, you know, and people do not care. They don't care. They want to know that you're interesting. They want to know that you know what you're talking about. They want to see things that they're not seeing from other people. All the trendy little things and stuff like that. You know, they're interesting, but the people that do it a little bit differently are the ones that you actually watch. I say just be consistent and always say have a good work life balance on social media. So I'm like 80% family, hobbies, fun stuff, 20% houses, land, whatever it may be.
Good.
As far as buyers, if you're looking at agents, especially sellers too, if you're looking at agents, go to their social media. Because
Hmm.
if you're going to use a listing agent that's not utilizing social media, you're shooting yourself in the foot. And there's only so many newspaper ads or, you know, Zillow or realtor.com that people are going to look at because most people are on Facebook and Instagram. And they may not even know that they like that house on your street until it pops up on there. And they're like, oh, my sister, brother, cousin is looking for something. Here, let me send it to them.
Hmm.
So I always tell people, you know, vet your agents. Like I said, everybody's different. Everybody works differently. There's no like set tone to being an agent. So find the person that you think that you can work with personality wise, that you can trust, that has experience, that knows, like I said, knows what they're talking about because it will help you in the end for sure.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. Well, I appreciate you. Where can people find you if they want to stay in touch with you?
My website is the
Follow
best
the zebra.
one. What was that?
Yeah, or if they want to follow the zebras.
Yeah, Zebra. So Renee, Central Lux Realty is my Instagram handle, or Gillette Properties is my Facebook handle. And then my website has links to both on there.
Nice. All right, I'll put that in the show notes so people can go and follow and watch your
Awesome.
Netflix. Yeah, potential series. Yeah, good, good, good. Thank you for being here, and I appreciate your time.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Yeah.